off, there's a realization, Alex, and you can probably figure all of our options for Syria are bad. I mean, I don't want to get in the details of it getting in trouble, but there's people been fired over telling the truth to the White House, saying, look, these these are the options we have, and they're all bad. And by the way, getting involved directly is just going to make things worse, So the whole idea of arming these folks, and let's be honest here, there's clear evidence in my judgment that the Libya consulate that was attacked on the 9/11 anniversary was very much involved in moving, obtaining surface-to-air missiles and other arms from the Libyans and transferring it via the Turks to the rebels in Syria. I just don't think it's in our interest to be doing that sort of thing based on the fact, as you mentioned, Alex, the chances are pretty good this is all going to come back and bite us someday.
Senator, how do we know that the arms that are going to the Syrian rebels are not going to get into the hands of ISIS?
Because if we had people who were there to funnel it to the right people, and I know these people, and I know who they are, and I know how to do it, and so do other people. It's this administration that doesn't want to do it, that is sending them to certain death when they're training them and not preventing Bashar Assad from barrel bombing them. It's disgraceful.
Do you have any
it's immoral.
Do you have any comments about the arms deal from Benghazi getting into the hands of the Syrian rebels?
That didn't happen.
The 15,000 Stinger missiles?
No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Why would you think such a thing? Somebody is really not informing you well.
Tosh
Plumley
of the CIA said that the 15,000 Stinger missiles got into the hands of the Syrian army.
Yes, and he also said pigs fly and the sun comes up in the west. Sure.
On blackmail. Oh, yes, absolutely. You mentioned McCain. And what do they got on this guy? I mean, obviously, he's blackmailed 3 ways from Sunday. They know he was singing like a canary to his North Vietnamese captors. For 6 months, he was giving operational schedules for U.S. Flights, attack flights into North Vietnam. He also was responsible for the terrible fire on the USS Forrestal that killed, over 200 naval personnel. And he was the first guy taken off because they knew he was responsible because of his hotshot antics. They called him Johnny Wet Start because he would flame his engine out as a form of hazing.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.